Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Let me just click out of my Discover page. It's good to see you all here. Thank you all for tuning in and everything. I hope everyone is doing well. Just to get some housekeeping things out of the way, assuming you all can hear me. Looks like you can, cool. I won't be able to stream Wednesday. I'm taking my girlfriend to a doctor's appointment to get like a procedure done, so I probably won't be able to stream Wednesday, just a heads up. Maybe late in the day, but that is that. I'm just letting you all know, just so there's no like people waiting for it. Also, the free trial for the bot expires tomorrow. I'm gonna let it expire. A lot of you have given me that signed up for it, have given me a lot of great feedback, which I'm going to use. I have a list of what I want to change. I'm just going to change the code and then grant everyone access again. And we're going to try to run it like that, kind of like beta testing. But thank you all for all the feedback on the bot and everything. So I'm going to make those changes within the next week, and then I'll just grant everyone access back to it again. So cool. Let's just jump right back into the charts. When are you doing another paper trading? Paper trading, I should be also doing another paper trading session tonight. At 8 around the daily open. That is when I usually will do it. So tonight I definitely can. Maybe even tomorrow night. This week I'm pretty clear on nights. At least for the next couple of days. So I should be able to get a decent amount of those streams done. Okay, cool. Let's just take a look at the Bitcoin chart and what we've been missing, or what I've been missing, because I haven't been on. So, I think at this point we can extend this. We can just treat this low and this high as our range. I would be comfortable doing that, just because this value area low has been tested and respected, as well as this point of control. I would be comfortable saying that this is what I would consider to be the new range at this point. Rather than considering this to be the swing high and this is the swing low, we can just change the 2 pivot points to this be the swing low and this be the swing high, and we'll range in between them for now. Obviously, if we break out of this range, which I highly doubt by tomorrow's stream we'll do, but if we do break out of this range at 25 to 11, then obviously we will then change back to the old one. But I think for now, a lot of people would be at least comfortable saying that we could just treat this as the range. One thing to note of this new range that we're going to talk about today is this the point control is heavily skewed to the value area high compared to the value area low compared to the value area high, which what we've been talking about means that we're most likely there's most likely trapped shorts compared to trapped longs, and means that we're probably most likely just going to break out of this value high before any continuation to the downside. So I do think there is a chance, strong possibility, that we do actually break out of this value high. Not necessarily the range completely, but I do think we have the potential to just break out of this value high right here. I'm about to retire all these trad tech calls I learned. Okay. So that's out of the way. Daily fair value gap just got filled, actually. So let me just label this, and we'll look at small term time frames just to see if there is a bit of an extension of that. So I do expect, unless there's some notable, yeah, we could probably take this to be right here. I like that much better. 4-hour chart. So the daily fair value gap filled, but I would look for this whole 4-hour fair value gap. That's a bit of a mouthful to get filled. So on coin margin, that is to about 22,694 roughly, is where I look for the first major pullback to occur. Obviously, that assumes we don't have any drives of bearish divergence, which on smaller time frames we've yet to actually have. So I think this is actually could potentially come up and form and just come up here and just see if we reject out of that range. Obviously, on a closure basis, I would put it, I would be comfortable saying that on a 1-hour closure basis, if this level for this level to hold right here. Where targets extend above that, assuming if we do break out of that range, and we'll look at the traditional markers like SPX to see if there is a potential for that. I will look for the 786. We have pretty much three major confluences at this point. We have the Valley Area High, top of this fair value gap, and the 618. So we're most likely going to reject off of this area. Of course, if we don't, then I'm looking for this 786 at 23,764. And we can just put that level on a 4-hour closure basis. So yeah, where do I look for targets to down? In order to invalidate this move up, I would look for a closure, a 1-hour closure below 21,513. So if we are going to continue the uptrend, right, but we do get this rejection off, then I would look for, there's not much honestly to recover out of this area. So I do think we probably will just come back and retest this low. We break below this low, then it becomes pretty nasty. Then you switch into a 1-hour downtrend, and essentially targets just become all the way down to this fair value gap, which ends at 19,439. So those are my two conditions. Retest this low. If it breaks this low, then it becomes a pretty nasty. Obviously, it's going to take a long time, but this is what the target for the downtrend would be. Cool. Are there anything else you want me to say on that? Hello, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. You better show up to the paper trading tonight. You were the one that requested it. Also, in the paper trading, I think I'm gonna I'm actually just gonna use TradingView's paper trading, because the last time, beyond just Bybit crashing our stream, it also the price differences between paper trading and what we were seeing on the charts was so significant that it looked like I was like in the red half of the time when on the charts we were in the green. So I'm just gonna switch over just to using TradingView just to avoid the crashing, so I don't even have to like try to get a new browsing extension and new browser, and also just so there's no there's discrepancies between the price and looks like I'm in the red while we were actually in the green. So yeah, so let's just take a look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Let me just come over to the daily chart, see. Looks like, oh, okay. Oh, is this the, did Ethereum 2.0 come out yet? I haven't been very active on the in the news. I've been doing my job. Has it? Can it be confirmed if it has or not? I don't think it has, but it could have. So just taking a look at where we're bouncing off of. So this is the range we've been looking at for quite some time. This is just a range from May of 2021 until we essentially broke out of it in June, I believe, of this year. So this is the prior range that we looked for acceptance back into. We got acceptance back into. We're just playing off of these levels. And since then, we've just been above this fair value area high. So I've been looking for a retest of this range high. But right now we're retesting this value area high, this previous value area high of that range. So if we do close below this level, I think at this point a weekly closure would be probably a better idea. But for short-term time frames, weekly closure, daily closure below this level. Confirm to me that you're most likely to continue to the downside, probably to this point control down here. But if we hold it as support, that's perfectly fine, and we can then finally come right back and retest this range high there. ETH 2.0 planned for 13th to the 15th. Final test was late last week and was apparently successful. Okay, cool. Okay, so it's tomorrow in the next few days. So ETH's price action should get quite interesting. We take a look at ETH itself. It looks like ETH isn't holding up too well compared to Bitcoin. based off that evaluation, but hopefully that also plays into the narrative that the value area high should hold, and then Ethereum continues its upward trajectory. Right here, I would still say that this is the current range you're in, right? You just retested this range high right here. And this is the wrong chart. That's why not everything was blank. Ah, there you go. Cool. So, let me just get rid of this slower term time frame things. Okay. So coming down to the 4 hour, actually, I just want to look at the 4 hour. It just seems to be chopping around. This is where I was looking for a rejection off the other day. We did get a rejection off of this level, which is quite nice to see. Is the uptrend invalidated? No, I would say it gets invalidated with any closure below hourly closure below 1684. At that point, then you're just looking at pretty much a choppy downtrend. Targets, I just would then turn to the daily turn time frame targets of the point of control, or actually the value area high at 6. That's actually above there, right? 1695 now. Okay, so then we just turn to the value area high right here at 1643, and then eventually, obviously, this fair value gap down to here at 1285. So if things do turn nasty, interesting timing considering my trend line suggests the 16th might get interesting to the downside perhaps. Yeah, I am expecting this to be more of a trap move on Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum 2.0 is actually going to matter too much, or it's just going to make its project pretty bad. We'll actually take a look at Bitcoin Dominance just to see how that's holding up. But yeah, I expect this to start to break down. Next few days, probably chop up, maybe like a swing play pattern of the highs, something like that. But for now, we are really just chopping around this level right here, and we did notice that we did break market structure, right? So this downtrend shouldn't come of too much of a surprise. Where you look a pullback into to your last significant move up, I don't know why that was there. That was a little bit weird. Before the market structure break, so actually, yeah, that actually might have actually been. So hold on. I think that was when we were looking at small term time frames just to pinpoint where that order block was. So we still are waiting for a pullback due to this market structure break between 1958 and 1944. So those might become interesting. That might become a level of interest within the next few days, especially if these Ethereum 2.0 is going to get hyped. So I would especially look for this one market structure break on the 1 hour time frame for Ethereum to see where we're going to continue, and also the Ethereum Bitcoin value chain if that value high is going to hold as of today's candle. If it does, then things are looking good for that. If not, then it's looking pretty rough. Cool. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and then I'll look at any coins you guys want me to look at. So just, I guess you guys can start throwing them in the chat now, and hopefully we didn't break the low. I guess I have to look at the weekly chart just to see. My thesis is still that I don't think this. Okay, cool. Bounced off this value area low, thankfully. I still highly doubt that we actually break below this low. Things will get extremely interesting. All right, we were taking a look at the correlation. I know the last time I did this stream, there weren't. Maybe it was actually. I think it might have actually been during my paper stream. My paper trading stream. But we were taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance with respect to total 3. So I'll just look at the correlation between the two. And just get rid of the DDI for a second. Bang. You can see that they're fairly negatively correlated most of the time. They're coming up to the point where we become positively correlated. So I highly doubt these. And every time it was positively correlated, we had an uptrend within, or at least sideways within Bitcoin dominance. So we very rarely fall Bitcoin dominance. We actually never fell and had a positive correlation with total 3, which is just all altcoins. So I just don't see it making a new low, especially with this time in the cycle, and especially with that flippening. Okay, ADA, Litecoin, Sol. So we'll start with ADA, Litecoin, then we'll do Sol. No problem. But good to see that Bitcoin dominance is at least following our trajectory. ADA, sure. Is it still just bound within that annoying range? Probably. Yeah. So really just chopping around within this one range. Small term time frames, I'm sure, are giving very good trade opportunities, because this range is still... I mean, we could take this, right? Oh, what is this? Oh, 40% range, so it's very, very tradable. It's very tradable. Coming down to the 4-hour time frame, this was our fair value. This would be our fair value gap right here. We filled it to the T, perfect. And getting a rejection off of it, which is great to see. We could just look at smaller term time frame market structure just to see, because this is just a bit choppy. Nothing just yet, right? You get concerned after you break 48.66, but until then, there's nothing really there. Let's just take a look at our TDI just to see if any divergences were forming. And then we'll take a look at even smaller time frames to see if we have a bit of a bias to with which direction will break based off the volume profile. Get rid of a correlation. No divergences formed, really. I guess you can argue that you had hidden bear over here, but I wouldn't put too much weight on that. You were just chopping around, and some volume came in at the New York Open. So, small term time frames. Let's just see where we're at. Bang. I could probably even go to the 15. I probably don't have to go to the 5-minute. Value itself is heavily skewed to the upside, so I wouldn't. Let me just see over here. Point of control itself, I believe, is skewed to the upside. Let me just actually put their drawings out just to get a visual. It is slightly skewed to the upside, so we're looking for it to at least break out this value area low, which we already have. So just expect a retest with, which is influenced with also this fair value gap right here being filled of this value area low at 50.68. Look for rejection off of that, and then continuation to the downside, and eventually retest of this low. Things don't get too concerning on higher time frames until you break out of this low. So that would be a nice little. There's a nice little trade setup, I guess, like something like this, and then continuation to the downside. Cool. Oh god, the chat is actually blowing up. I haven't been reading it. Let's do Litecoin. Yeah, Sol is very fun to trade. I just hope it doesn't go down like the rest, like a lot of the altcoins end up doing. But it's pretty bad. Let's get rid of all these lines. It is a pretty bad, you know what I'm gonna say. I can't even think of it. It's a pretty bad project. Like, it breaks all the time. All these lines. I believe we were trading Litecoin the other day during our paper trading, so we just covered all that. Okay. So taking a look at on the daily chart. Right, we're still stuck within this range. Extremely boring. Came up, retested this value area high. Unique continuation candles. I would even say with Litecoin at this point, the liquidity is still fairly low. So you retested it, got rejection off of it. Perfectly fine. Now retesting the 22. Smaller term time frames, you probably have this big fair value gap at the bottom. No, you just have this small one right here. You have a daily. So let's actually mark out the daily term time frame. That's what I'd be interested in most, just because it's the most clear. You do have this fair value gap right here, which you are starting to fill already. And then we can take a really small term time frames just to see if there's no notable trend on the daily time frame, to be quite honest. Like, you could argue that this might have been a market structure break right here, this small little uptrend, pull back into this, into the bearish order block, and this is our like major rejection off of it. I wouldn't really put too much weight on that idea though. I think we really are just shopping around, ranging. So yeah, I don't put too much weight on that. So this is pretty much the only trade setup I have, is just filling this fair value gap and seeing where everything lies. Of course, if there's divergences, then things will be different. But there's no major divergences forming yet. So fair value gap right here, also bouncing off this point of control. But I think this is going to fill this fair value gap. Then obviously we would have to like break out even smaller. Like you just break smaller time frame ranges as time goes on, and then you can look for that value area low at some point. Okay. I believe Sol and then IOTX. Cool. Yeah, I also NFTs and gaming were the fad, I think, of this cycle. I don't think many of them are coming back. I think a few projects will still be there. I definitely think the idea that crypto and gaming is definitely a valid idea. I just don't really see it. It's at the stage where it's all hype. I forget a euphoria, I guess. I don't even know if that's the correct term, but hopefully that makes sense. So we're also paper trading, so I have a million lines from. Let me just delete all the alerts and everything. Coming down to the 4 hour, we do have this daily for fair value gap, also lines up with 4 hour, so this is perfect. That fair value gap goes up to about 39,425. So just look at rejection off of that. Coming down to smaller term time frames, we could also come back and fill this fair value gap, no problem, without like many consequences. We already kind of filled it, but down to but down to 36.45. So let me just look at really small term time frame, sorry, just to see if we can get a bit of a. I did have a swing failure pattern right there. I actually broke out of it, so small time frames suggest lower, down to this 36.315 level, then continuation back up. So I will look for that for a nice bit of a trade setup, unless any divergence form. We did have bearish divergences form as well, so this yeah, where I think we're still going to continue to the downside. And yeah, we could pull our Fibonacci levels from this swing low to this swing high, and you can see that 0.5 is also within that level right there. It actually lines up perfectly with the 15-minute fair value gap. So between 36.505 and 36.315 is where I would look for a bounce and then continuation to the upside. Where is that idea becoming validated? You take, if you want to be more aggressive, then you would just look for a closure below that level. Well, actually, what is this exact high? I'll look for a closure below 36.315. But if you want to be more conservative, then you look for a closure all the way below this. So yeah, which is 34.525. So I still think you still have a lot of upside potential in Sol. Lonu would be a fun one to look at also sometime. LOL. I knew that was coming back to life, but I didn't want to put any real money up to it. Too volatile for my blood. Well, we can take a look at Luna. I think we looked at Luna the other day. Between BUSD. Well, let's take a look at IOTX first. Daily term time frame. Cool. I don't think we've looked at this one just yet. We can treat this as the range, low, high, swing low, swing high, and we just range it between them two. And we see we rejected off this point of control right here, but we have this daily fair value gap. Let's see if there's a clear fair value gap on smaller time frame, just so we can get more clear for target. We do, and I would then look for We obviously have the one within this candle, but I'm just going to take the lower one right here. We have fair value gap all the way down to 0.2875. And this one seems to already be being filled. Smaller term time frames, let's just see. We did. I would consider this honestly to be a bit of a range between this and this right here. And with smaller term time frames, we'll even get a bit of a clearer picture. Or actually, probably not, because you closed below. But, you know, you didn't close it below just yet, so retest of this level at 30.75. But then also you have this fair value gap also up to here to 31. I don't think unless you're building divergences, which you aren't yet. I think a retest of this level, obviously closure bases, and then continuation downside. Even if you make it up to this level, and then continuation downside fill of this fair value gap would be the best trade setup. I see, obviously, close above this point of control, then targets come back up to here with this daily fair value gap, as well as the value area high. You need also a continuation candle with these types of coins at 35.60. So yeah, those are the two conditions. But I think that the lower turn time frame, retest of that value area low, then continuation downside is what seems to be the best. CPI drops tomorrow on a Tuesday? I thought it was I guess so. I thought it was usually a different day of the week. I thought CPI was usually... No, you were right. Yeah, it is tomorrow. I thought it was usually Thursday. But maybe I've just forgotten. Amazing how that all lines up with the ETH merges. Yes, it is. I'm interested to see. Maybe we'll get a bump. I'm hoping we get at least a bit of a bump up to that bearish order block and slam down. We like to take a look at Luna for fun. But also, guys, you know, anything you want me to look at, just throw us in the chat. We have a bit of fun right now. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, there is a link in the description below for our Discord server. A lot of good traders in there. It's completely free and everything, so just come and join. Come and join. We're starting to build it out, so which is great. But the community is great, and that's been especially made clear to me through how everyone's giving me like feedback and everything on the bot and everything. So it's just like it's gonna be especially in the future as we try new things and everything. You guys are great, so thank you very much. Luna, and then we'll take a look at A for Tom. Luna, do we want to treat this coin as a real coin? I guess we should. We have this low volume node right here, which we would look to eventually fill. We are starting to fill that as we speak. We get this more exact. Right there seems to be it. We do have this low volume node down to. Oh wait, is this the real Luna? No, right? I need Luna C. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, we could do real Luna too. I don't know. Are you talking about Luna C? Or you're talking about this Luna? Either way. Nope, not fair value gap. Low volume node. That low volume node comes down to $3.53.45. So just look for that to get eventually filled. Smaller term time frames, 1 hour. Yeah, you have this fair value gap all the way down to all twos essentially. So just look for that. Possibly also if you break. So if you close below, I would say 30.50. On the 1 hour time frame, then you would look for continuation all the way down to all twos. So yeah. Says Discord link is invalid. Discord gives me the one that never expires, and then for some reason it becomes invalid. So I'll fix that right now. Expires never. And I'll fix that right now, but it shouldn't, it should not, be like that. I apologize. I'll just try to fix that on my phone. Or I'll just put it in the chat. There you go. That's the valid Discord link. I don't understand why. I apologize. That is the way it is. I don't know. It's not called Murphy's Theory. Alright. So any coin you guys want? Oh, Ave, right. I will also eventually, if the channel does grow, have to actually get some moderators on. CryptoBump is a moderator, but he's not awake during this time. Generally, so we do have to look at that. I will have to get more moderators into this stream. Okay, this will small time frame analysis. Maybe more paper trading. Not too sure. But good to see that our levels are at least respecting. Here, I'm really just chopping around. We can we'll just pull our. I believe those levels are based off the 4-hour. Excuse me. So just floating around this point of control, right? Any continuation candles. So I wouldn't really take this as a breakout, or this obviously to be anything. Excuse me. Looking on smaller term time frames, we were looking. Yep, this is the line that we've been basically rejecting off of for quite some time. We're still looking for a pullback into this bearish order block. So out of this little range, and we can actually treat this as a little range. So this is actually quite an interesting one to look at. So thank you for telling me, because we do have some analysis. We're right now holding on this value area high of this little macro range as well. So I would look for continuation to 101.55 and 99.1 before major pullback, next major pullback, right? Because this was our market structure break right here on the 4-hour time frame, and we marked this out quite some time and said if we get back above this line, then we're going to be coming back into this bearish order block. But we haven't yet. We still have yet to be quite honest, but I think hopefully they will. Whereas the idea becoming validated, at least, or prolonged, like we'll have more continuation to the downside before that move up to the bearish order block, is I would say hourly closure below 89.4. So hourly closure below 89.4 would prolong that retrace into this bearish order block. Okay, cool. That won't work. Great. If the Discord link is in the description live, you'll get a lot more bots. We have been getting a lot more bots and spams. Like a lot of it's funny because they all have like the same profile picture too, which is pretty funny. But yeah, we do get a lot of spam. Of course, as a balance, two-way street trades off in both. Yeah, for now, while this channel's small, like it's easier to do that. But when if it becomes bigger, then it's going to become difficult to you know, treat like everyone. All right. So if there's no other questions or any coins you guys want me to look at, I will bid you all farewell. Once again, I'm probably gonna do a paper live streaming session tonight around the daily open. No set time frame, which is around the daily open. So make sure to look out for that. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Once again, remember, just no stream, most likely Wednesday, but tomorrow I will be able to stream. So thank you all very much for watching. Links in the description below for a Discord server, free to use. A lot of good traders in there. Also, if you trade on Bybit, it's a leverage trading platform for crypto, you can get 30% off all your fees and help support this channel. Links in the description below. And thank you all. Take care.